Hello and welcome back to more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom, where last time we finished up our adventures in the Merman Lair, and today we will be beginning our adventures in Sand Mountain, which is the final area in the second part of Bikini Bottom, consisting of Rock Bottom in the Merman Lair and Sand Mountain. But before we do that, it's finally time to deal with Mr. Krabs' golden spatulas, and the reason why is because the Sand Mountain area has three distinct mounds: Guppy Mound, Flounder Hill, and Sand Mountain itself. All three of which require 1,500 shiny objects apiece in order to be able to access in the first place, on top of the Frosty Bungee Spatula, which requires 2,500 golden spatulas. So, it makes sense to talk about the issue of grinding for shiny objects in the same episode that we're going to deal with Mr. Krabs' golden spatulas, which require grinding for shiny objects. So we're going to knock out both very grind-heavy sections of the game in one shot, and I'm going to give you three distinct methods to do so, because the number one complaint I got in my first walkthrough is that I used cheat codes to get this to quickly get more shiny objects, which some people didn't like. They didn't like the fact that I used cheat codes, which, you know, so that I figured that's fair. So today, in this walkthrough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you three distinct methods for how you want to go ahead and go about getting extra shiny objects. The first method is, of course, cheat codes. So basically what you do is you pause the game, hold down the left trigger, the right trigger, then press Y, X, X, Y, Y, X, X, Y. So Y, X, X, Y, Y, X, X, Y. And when you hear that sound effect play, that means you got an extra 1,000 shiny objects, so you can just do this over and over again, Y, X, X, Y, Y, X, X, Y. And every time that you do that, you'll get an extra 1,000. But if you don't want to do that, totally understand. So, what I'm gonna teach you instead is something called SBA, which stands for Skee Ball Abuse. And it's primarily a speedrunning trick that's used in the speedruns of this game. It is worth noting that you do need to disable the hand for this trick, so let me show you how to actually do that. What you have to do is you have to go over to where the Jellyfish Field's taxi pad is. And then what you do is you lay down to the side of it, like this, and then once the hand pulls you off screen, press the A button when prompted, like this. Then, once that is set in stone, the game has triggered you to go to Jellyfish Fields, but you didn't actually do it because, you know, you kind of got pulled off screen. So all you have to do now is simply return to the taxi pad once again, lay down next to it, and let the hand pull you off screen, and you will have then disabled the hand, which will allow you to walk out of bounds, which is something you need to do in order for this trick to work. So now let me show you the footage that you actually need to take advantage of to actually complete this trick. And basically what you do, and I'm going to show footage up on screen as to how you actually pull this off. It's located in Goo Lagoon, and what you do is you grab a tiki from this stack right here, and then you carry it over to take it to the skee ball machine. So you grab the tiki, and then you throw it across the floating platforms like I'm showing on screen now. Throw it across, and once you make it over there, go back, grab another tiki, and then again carry it across all the platforms. Throw it to the opposite side of where you place the first tikis to make sure that they don't accidentally stack on top of each other. Basically, grab the tiki, walk up against the middle of the ramp as much as you can, then throw it into the skee ball machine, then jump into the skee ball machine, then position yourself behind the tiki so that you're lined up with the three holes above you as well as the tiki itself. Then go back to grab the second tiki and repeat what you did with the first tiki by just walking up against the ramp towards the middle, throwing it against the machine, or throwing it into the machine, and then once they're stacked on top of each other, you can switch to Spongebob, jump into the machine, which you wouldn't have been able to do if the hand wasn't disabled, grab onto this ring right here, tap the B button once to do a bubble bowl, and if you've done the trick correctly, you will have enabled SBA, which is a skee ball abuse, which basically just gets the ball infinitely stuck in the hole and allows you to infinitely grind shiny objects, which will allow you to gain more significantly faster. It's very effective and very easy to set up. But, of course, that is also technically an exploit, so if you don't want to do that either and you just want to grind for shiny objects by just breaking tikis a lot, for some weird reason, then I do have a spot for you to do that as well. The third and final method is going to be the method that works in Rehydrated, because obviously Rehydrated doesn't have the cheat codes, nor does it have skee ball abuse. So if you're playing Rehydrated, which I don't know why you would be if you're looking at a walkthrough for the original game, but if you are for some reason, then the only way to grind for shiny objects at an effective rate is to do this method. When you warp through the sea caves, walk out through the caves, then turn around to activate this line of Thunder Tikis, then bubble bowl into this hammer right here, then double jump your way and spin stall onto this awning, jump on top of the sandcastle, land in the middle to activate the massive explosion, and then leap off the edge like this to reset your spawn, and then you'll walk back to the top, and you can do it all over again. It's slow, it's really slow, really boring, really tedious, but if you don't want to use cheat codes and you don't want to use the SBA exploit, This is the best you're gonna do. This is the most effective spot to grind for shiny objects as efficiently as you possibly can. That's the best I got for you. Is to just do this over and over again until you finally get to the amount that you need to. I guess you should probably actually make it clear. The amount that you need for everything we need to do is 46,500 shiny objects, because we need a total of 39,500 shiny objects in order to appease Mr. Krabs, and then we need an additional 7,000 after that point in order to actually get all of those shiny objects, get all the spatulas in Sand Mountain. So once you have 46,500 shiny objects, you are clear to go to Sand Mountain. So I am going to use the Chico method because I've already recorded the tutorial for SBA, so I may as well just do this the quick and easy method. So I'm going to go ahead and get my shiny objects up to that number, and then I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, that is way more than enough for what we need. So now that you have this many shiny objects, you can finally talk to Mr. Krabs and trade out all your golden spatulas, trade out all your shiny objects, or not all of them. You just trade out 39,500 of them for all his golden spatulas, and then we'll be able to go to Sand Mountain and actually begin the video proper, because we're going to do all of Sand Mountain in one video. It's not that long of an area, so we're going to knock them all out in one shot, do all 3 mountains, get all the socks, all the spatulas, all in one video, and then tomorrow we'll finish off our second part of Bikini Bottom with going over to the final boss battle. But I just wanted to knock out all the grinding here because this level's very grind heavy, so it makes sense to take care of, show you the grinding methods, and knock out Krabs, spatulas, and Sand Mountain all in the same video. So that's why we're taking care of them all right now. And I did mention last episode that we're going to be getting a lot of golden spatulas this episode, so, well, here's me living up to that promise. And we're almost there, just a little bit further to go. I think we just have, I haven't exactly been counting how many we've got until this point, but I think just one more. Or was it the last one? Was it the last one? Nope, okay, this is the last one right here. This is the last one right here, and now we have just a little bit more than enough left over for us to finally be able to tackle Sand Mountain and actually begin this video proper. So let's go. Once you've gotten all the golden spatulas from Mr. Krabs, which you can check by going to this and seeing how many, if you have them all right here, then you are good to go. So let's go ahead and head to Sand Mountain and begin our adventures by having some fun on the slopes.
Sand Mountain, where sea creatures go to enjoy an afternoon of falling down.
Squidward, am I glad you're here. I need to borrow your toothbrush again.
What? You've used it before?
Oh yeah, lots of times. I figured if you didn't know, you wouldn't mind.
Fine. What do I care? I'm a wreck anyways. I try and get some exercise to relax from all this robot mess, and now everything is ruined.
Because of a toothbrush?
No, it's those blasted robots. They've taken over the ski slopes. How can I ski with those ugly things beating everyone up? Listen, SpongeBob, you've got to help me. I'm gonna lose my marbles if I don't get some relaxation.
I've found if you keep your marbles in a bag, they don't get lost as often. In fact, I've got mine right here. It's embroidered with this lovely...
Forget the marbles! I've got a better idea. If you get rid of the robots at the bottom of every slope for me, I'll give you one of those golden spatulas.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to beat the extreme fun of marbles.
Okay, I'll give you one for each slope you clear.
Now that's a deal.
Alright, so we got 3 slopes to clear, as well as everything that we need to take care of in this initial area of Sand Mountain as well. But before we do any of that, we're gonna jump up to this ledge right here to grab ourselves a purple shiny object, because why not? Then we're gonna drop down here and defeat this snowman to get ourselves the first sock of the level, because, you know, why not? Then we are going to go ahead and destroy this Duplicatotron up here so that it can stop spawning enemies, so we can have a little bit of peace and quiet. And then while that blows up, we're going to drop down below these steps to get our second sock of the area right over here. And then what we're going to do is going to go ahead and walk our way up around this side of the mountain, where I'm heading towards right now. If you want to knock out this truck right now, just bubble into it, like, not like that, or, okay, I guess that worked, but I wasn't trying to ricochet up like that. I wanted to jump on top of this ledge and then bubble it from here, like this, because that gives you a more direct shot. But, you know, that works too. Either way, once the truck's taken out, you can jump up this ledge right here. Really, the reason we took him out was just so that we wouldn't have to worry about him when we jumped around this sides. We wouldn't have to worry about him knocking us off. Anyway, now we're going to jump across the ledges of this lodge right here and then attack this button like so that it'll cause some sandy swing hooks to descend for a little bit later so that we can access that fetch at the top of the lodge. But for now, we're going to double back over in this direction to where we can see a little clam waiting for us up there. And we're going to feed it 2,500 shiny objects to get our next spatula.
Hello, my most favorite friend in the whole world. I found another golden spatula for you.
Oh, boy! Can I have it?
Sure, if you fall down to the bottom of this pit.
Isn't there a safer way?
It's always safety with you people. I suppose you could bungee down.
So we're going to feed the clam 2,500 shiny objects so that we can jump on this bungee hook and descend directly into our golden spatula just like this. And then we can back our way out. And you're starting to see why we needed so many shiny objects, because that was 2,500 and we still need to pay a total of 4,500 shiny objects remaining just to access the 3 other mountains in the area. So yeah, we got a lot of work left to do. But before we go into any of those places to go ahead and start our skiing adventures, we're gonna go ahead and switch to Sandy, and then backtrack our way up to really anywhere. You can jump up from anywhere.
You don't say. Well, there must be a way up there.
Jump up from anywhere so that you can grab onto this ledge and start swinging away along these hooks just like so. It doesn't matter which hook you start from, just as long as you can jump up from anywhere to grab onto the hooks. You can then swing your way off of this one and then glide the remaining distance over to this golden spatula, and then you can collect it. But after this, we're going to want to switch back to Spongebob because there are time challenges for each of the upcoming slopes, and you can't complete any of them as Sandy. We will need Sandy for one of the upcoming slopes, but you can't use her for the time challenges. So we're going to switch back to Spongebob and then head up this first set of ledges to access our first sliding challenge of the level, Guppy Mound. Let's go.
I've gone down this hill 100 times, usually rolling. Darn kids think it's funny to push me, but if you can beat my time down the hill, I'll give you a golden spatula.
You want to accept the time challenge, and seeing as this is the first slope of the 3, it's naturally going to be the easiest, but, you know, it's still some fun. So, start sliding down. The orange markers at the end of a slope mean that you can do a single jump and make it, but the blue markers mean that you have to double jump in order to make the jump. I still recommend double jumping anyway, just to be safe, but either way, you need to jump up to the left path right there, because you need to grab the sock that's at the end of that path. Then double jump up to the left again to hit this button to cause a snowball to descend and blow up all the Thunder Tikis. And you need to do that because if the snowball doesn't hit the Thunder Tikis, then you won't really be able to make it across the gap, because you'll be in a stun animation and you won't be able to jump across the ledge if that happens. Take the left path there to grab that sock, and then keep moving along your merry little way. Also, you don't have to worry about the Chuck that we saw earlier, because he's always going to throw his missile into the ground. I don't know why, but he just does, so you don't have to worry about him even in the slightest. You can find some purple shiny objects right there if you drop down to that lower path, and then double jump across this gap, stick to the right-hand side so that you can jump up over here and grab your third and final sock of Guppy Mound. You still should have plenty of time to make your way along the final part of Guppy Mound, and then cross the finish line with roughly 20 seconds to spare. And now we can return to Miss Puff for our reward. But remember, we still have to live up to our request from Squidward to clear out all the clear out all the robots on the slopes so that he can enjoy a relaxing day of skiing. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to, well, defeat all the robots that are going to be at the bottom of the slope, like this. Unless I miss my bubble bash, in which case I'm not going to do that. Can I hit the bubble bash, please? Thank you very much. And then you also want to make sure you defeat the Duplicatotron so that they can't actually cause spawn any more robots even after you defeat the initial wave. And then once you do all that, the snowball will descend to knock out the gate, allowing you to pass on through and collect our reward from Squidward, I guess. I mean, he never actually gives us the golden spatula, so I guess he just preemptively planted these at the bottom of the slopes for us. I don't know. Before you leave, hop back in the teleport box to walk back up to grab your reward from Mrs. Puff, and then we can head on out and proceed to the next hill, which is Flounder Hill. Like I said, Guppy Mound, super simple, super easy introductory course, but it does have 3 socks which require specific pathings to take to actually get them. So if you missed any of them because we were going by too fast, you're more than welcome to jump down the slide and do it again. As you saw, it takes about a minute to get down to the bottom of the slope, so it's not really that big of an inconvenience if you do miss them. But either way, we're going to head back to the main area of Sand Mountain, to the ski lodge, And then we're going to head to Flounder Hill, which is the second of the 3 slopes that we're going to head off down. If you want some extra shiny objects, you can go ahead and destroy all the Thunder Tikis right here. But either way, you want to watch out for the Chuck coming up ahead, because the Chuck is going to be a major pain in the butt if you don't watch out for him. Just wait for him to bait his missile, then quickly run past it, and knock him over the edge like that. Now let's head to Flounder Hill.
I fly like the wind and float like a sea bee. If you can beat my time down the hill, I'll give you a golden spatula.
So, while this slope isn't necessarily the hardest of the bunch, it does have the most annoying suck, because it requires us to go down the slide twice. Now, you're supposed to only have to go down the slide 3 times. The game wants you to go down the slide 3 times to get the sock, but I have a little trick that we can use to make sure that we only go down the slide twice. Because what you have to do is you have to defeat 8 snowmen. Get out of my way, buddy. I said, fine, I'll just attack you. You have to defeat 8 snowmen. The first one is at the top of the slope right here, and the remaining 7 are on the slope itself. The problem is that they are not all on the same path of the slope, and there are multiple instances where you have to make a choice as to which path you take, which is why you have to do the slope multiple times. However, there is a little trick that we can do at the very end of the slope to where we only have to do it twice instead of 3 times. So I will signpost it when we're about to come up to that point, because it is going to require some pretty tricky jumping. But other than that, it's pretty basic sliding skills, so it's nothing too complicated, except for that final part at the end that I will make sure to warn you in advance of when you have to do some pretty tricky jumping. Here, double jump up to the snowman. You want to go through crash through the signs first to go down this hidden path, and then double jump up to the top ledge right there to grab that second snowman. And then we're just going to keep moving on our little way. I recommend that you don't actually jump into the Tikis up ahead, because if you jump into the Tikis, it'll knock the Thunder Tikis down, and then you'll have to deal with those next time. Here, because we're doing the time challenge, stick to the left-hand side, because this run will also be the run where we knock out the time challenge. So you want to stick to the left-hand side so that you can take the fastest route down possible. Then just ride the slope all the way around like this, so that we can grab the snowman you'll see right along this path. Stay to the middle of the slope so you can grab this, like so. There's 3 of the 8 already. And just keep moving on. The reason why we took this is because this path has a more direct line to the end of this section as opposed to the right path, and because we're doing the time challenge. And the same run as we're doing our first set of snowmen, we want to take the fastest route possible. We still have a little bit further to go before we get to that tricky jumping section. We do also have another snowman to get along the way, but we don't have one to get for a while. This one's just a nice little section in the cave we can slide on down. Alright, just keep on moving ahead. This section, you want to try to steer around the gaps, the obvious gaps that the signs are trying to prevent you from going into. And our next snowman is going to be coming up just around this corner, so you want to try to stay in the middle of the path as you turn. Try to turn the camera early so you know exactly where the snowman is, so you can see it as you come around the corner and then hit it. Now, this is important. We're coming up to the section where you have to make some pretty fast jumps and a lot of really crazy turns. So listen very carefully to what I say. Follow my movements very, very precisely. Drop off this ledge, hit the first snowman, then turn the camera and then jump to the left onto this pathway to hit your second snowman, and then tank a shot from the Thunder Tiki, take another shot from the Thunder Tiki, then jump over this set, and then just make your way towards the end of the slope. I might have done that a little bit too slow. We might not. Whoa! What the hell was that? What the? I don't know what just happened there. Yeah, so I genuinely don't know what happened there. I think my head got caught in the ceiling somehow. But whatever. We made it to the end with 5 seconds to spare. So now all we have to do is clean out the robots down here, and then we can collect our golden spatula reward on the other side of the fence. But we're not done yet, because even though we've completed the time challenge, and we can go collect our reward from Bubble Buddy for doing that, we still are not done with Flounder Hill, because as you may recall, there are still some snowmen we've yet to collect. We only got 6 out of 8 so far, so there's still 2 on alternating paths of the slope that we've yet to go get. And ordinarily we would have had to do 3 runs of this slide, because that little trick I did, you're supposed to be able to, you're supposed to get the one in the middle on one run, and then the one on the left on another one, which then splits it into different runs. But we've made it so that we can actually do, and then that's on top of the fact that you have to, that there's a sock waiting for us on top of the tunnel, that's toward the middle of the area. So that totals up to a total of 3 runs, if we didn't use the trick that I just showed off. which is why I did what I did right there, so that we could save ourselves a trip down Flounder Hill, because we still got some work to do. So we only need to do one more run, and then we'll be done with Flounder Hill, and then we can move on to the final mountain, which is Sand Mountain, which is, you know, the titular mountain. Anyway, okay, so last time we went right through the sign, but this time we're going to just stay the course and go to the left-hand side, where you'll see your 7th snowman waiting for you along the right-hand path. You can see it right here. And then for our 8th and final snowman, there's one more section coming up ahead where you have to bank left or right, depending on which snowman you're going for. It's the one where I said we're going to go left this time because we're going for the faster route. Because we're trying to do time trial. The difference is ultimately relatively minor, but considering we only had 5 seconds left to spare, I think it was probably worth it in the end, just to make sure we made it on time. Yeah, so we're going to go to the right this time. We're going to jump off right here, double jump your way here, and then pull back on the stick, and then turn the camera so you can readjust your positioning. You don't have to do that. You can just go around the long way, but I kind of want to do this in a relatively short amount of time since we are trying to do the entirety of Sand Mountain in a single video. I want to try to shave off some time whenever I get the chance to, which is why I took a little bit of a shortcut there. And now that's all 8 snowmen, which means that our sock will be waiting for us at the end of the slide for us to collect because we've collected all 8 of those socks. Because we've destroyed all 8 of the snowmen, or sandmen, if you will. But what's more important is that, or I guess not more important, but there's still one more thing that we've yet to do, which is the sock. There's still sock waiting for us on top of the tunnel that I mentioned last time. So... Oh, and by the way, I didn't mention it, or maybe I did, but whatever. So, if you die at any point while you're collecting the snowman, the snowman will reset and you have to destroy them all again. But once you destroy all 8 snowmen, the sock will stay at the bottom forever, and you don't have to recollect them, or you don't have to re-destroy them. But while you're destroying them, but until you get all 8, you do have to make sure you don't die, or else you'll lose your progress. Here, you want to double jump up to this upper ledge, and then just stay along this upper ledge, and then double jump on top of not the first tunnel, but the second tunnel. The second tunnel is the one you need to get on top of. It's this one right here. Double jump on top of it, and then grab the sock that's, okay, I missed it, but that's fine. I can go through the slope again. Yeah, honestly, the reason I didn't want to go for that is because I didn't want to risk dying by the Thunder Tikis, but it's whatever. Either way, here's our sock. So now I'm just going to go run through the slope one more time, and then then just so I can get the sock, and then we'll move on with the rest of this, with the rest of Sand Mountain. There we go. That's like what we had on the first time. Yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to try to go for it, because I had a feeling I was probably going to hit the Thunder Tiki if I wasn't careful enough, so I didn't want to risk having to do all that again, which I ended up having to do anyway, but whatever. So there we go. There's all the socks taken care of for Flounder Hill, and as well as both golden spatulas, one for clearing out the robots and one for completing the time challenge. So now we can head back to the ski lodge, and then go over to the final mountain of Sand Mountain, which is, well, Sand Mountain. It's the titular mountain called, of course, Sand Mountain. And then once we clear it out, that will be this level done, 100%. And then next episode, we'll go over to Industrial Park and fight the second major boss battle of the game. And then we'll head to the third part of Bikini Bottom and unlock our third and final special bubble ability. So that'll be pretty exciting.
I'm built for speed with this aerodynamic physique. But I'll give you a golden spatula if you can beat my time.
So, we're actually going to say no to this time challenge, because in order to get one of the socks here, we have to use Sandy. So, and as we recall, Sandy can't accept time challenges from any of the characters. Neither can Patrick, for that matter. So, we're going to do one run. We're not going to do the whole slide. We're just going to go up to the point where we can get all the socks as Sandy. Then we're going to reset the level, come back as Spongebob, and then we'll do the time challenge, and we'll take the fastest route possible to get through this. So, for our first sock, we are going to jump up on this trampoline to bounce ourselves up to the upper ledge, and then just kind of ride along this ledge to the very end, where you will see your sock waiting for you in plain sight right over here. Oh, let's not fall off, please. Thank you very much. Okay, there we go. Here's our sock. And now we're going to keep on sliding down. Of course, that one we didn't need Sandy for. But the second one we absolutely do. We absolutely cannot get the second sock without the use of Sandy. So let's go ahead and keep hopping across these ledges. We don't need to double jump because, as you can see, it's orange equals one jump, blue equals double jump. But here, you want to make sure you jump up to the trampoline. Okay, that was interesting. Fortunately, I saved myself, but I'm pretty sure I just slid right off the trampoline there. That was interesting. It's fine, though. It's totally fine. I'm saving myself. I'm saving myself. Yeah, I'm just kind of abusing the slide physics by double jumping and then gliding myself back up to the top. Oh boy, okay, let's try this again. There we go. So you want to bounce up here, you want to hit the button, then stop yourself by double jumping and then gliding backwards like I just did a moment ago, so that you get further up the hill, then hook onto this hook with Sandy, and then glide over to our first little icicle platform right here. Then glide out to the second platform where you'll find a fodder and a bomb bot, it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and defeat both of these. This is going to be tricky because this is probably the most dangerous chuck you'll see in the entire game, because there's a long stretch between here and that platform where you can easily get knocked into the abyss if you're not careful. So what I recommend doing is waiting until you see his arm go up, which is going to let you know he's decided where he's going to throw his shot. Then float into the air, or start gliding, and then steer around the missile, then touch down, and he'll throw another one as soon as you land. Just dive around it, like dodge it, and then kick him out. You don't want to try to use the last one when you land, because then he'll just kick you off anyway. Because the time that it takes for you to use your lasso is longer than the time it takes him to throw his missile. So to recap, wait for him to start throwing, then start gliding, steer around the first missile he throws, then as soon as you land, he'll throw another one. So you want to immediately just jump around to dodge that missile, and then kick him out of the way to get your second sock. Now the reason we pushed that button earlier is because the third sock was what we're going to get right now as well. Because we can shave a little bit of time. This is the longest slide in Sand Mountain. So we want to shave as much time as possible off of our run, and the time spent trying to get this sock is not time, it's time we kind of want to save. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to take the slide, excuse me, oh dear, okay, that was a close one, that saved it, totally saved it. You can see the sock over there on the slide, down there. Going around this loop takes a lot of time, whereas we could, if we wanted to just jump off the upper part of the slide up there and then land down here and come straight out of the cave. So we want to save that time when we're doing the time trial, or when we're doing the time challenge. Which is why we want to get all the socks out of the way right now. So once we get all the socks, as you see, we've got all 10 socks in the level. Now we can talk to Larry, accept the time challenge, and set on down the slide. Now we have 2 minutes and 21 seconds to get to the bottom of the slide, but that is actually a pretty tough time to beat doing the slide normally, because it's a really long slide. There's a lot of really crazy twists and turns and obstacles along the way. So just follow my path as best you can, and I will get you to the end in one piece within the time limit. The first and most important thing to note is that you need to hit the button. You can't do not take this straight path right here. Don't go straight here. You want to go to the right-hand side and bounce up like this and hit the button just like we did with Sandy, because going through that cave is absolutely essential, and you can't go through the cave because I don't know if I didn't explain this. The reason why there's a giant hole in the mountain is because this snowball crashed into it and created that hole. So you need to push that button so that you release the snowball and create a hole in the mountain, because if you try to go the long way and go down the left path, it's much more dangerous, and it's a lot more, I guess you could even call it more fun, because there's a lot more twists and turns you gotta take. But it's also it takes a lot longer, and you're almost guaranteed to not make it on time because of how much longer it is. So you definitely want to make sure you go, hit the button, go through the cave, and then take that massive shortcut I just took by going to grab the purple shiny object and jumping off the slide to just exit straight out of the cave. Because now we only have a minute to go, and we're kind of coming up to the end of the slide. This is the last part right here. But it's also worth noting there's a checkpoint right here. So I mean, it doesn't really matter much because, you know, it's a time trial. So the checkpoints aren't really gonna matter if you fail. But still, and we'll take as many shortcuts as we possibly can. Just try to keep cutting towards because the end is just in that general direction, kind of straight on from where I'm looking right now. So you want to take as many direct shortcuts as possible to head off in that direction. Just so you can get there in time. This is a pretty tight run. We took a lot of shortcuts this time, so I think we'll have plenty of time left. But if you try to go the long way, or if you miss even a single shortcut, you can have a significantly lower amount of time left. Also, that was a really close save right there. You can have a significantly less amount of time left if you don't take the shortcuts. Also, when you land, brace for him to throw the missile and then just dodge out of the way of it like I did right there. Because otherwise, he'll just toss you into the abyss and that'll be run over right there. But anyway. Yeah, so that was the longest slide, and definitely the hardest, but because we took a lot of shortcuts and we just shaved off a large section of the run by going through the mountain cave instead of taking the long way around, we were able to get to the end with a whopping 20 seconds to spare, and now we're all set and ready to roll. And missed that bubble bowl horrendously, so now I'm going to go up close and personal and take you out like that. And once we hit these 2 buttons, we'll be able to go collect our final 2 golden spatulas of the level, 1 from Squidward, and 1 from Larry himself for beating his time challenge. And then we can head on out, go collect our reward from Patrick back in Bikini Bottom, and that will be it for Sand Mountain. In the next episode, we'll go to Industrial Park and face off against our second major boss battle of the game, which will be exciting. Alright, let's head back up, courtesy of the teleport box, and go collect our reward from Larry.
Congratulations, SpongeBob. You beat my best time. Here's a spatula.
And that's it for now. Sand Mountain's always a blast. It's just a nice little bonus area. You can, I mean, it's not a bonus area if it's a main level, but it kind of feels like a bonus area in that you can just come here, relax, have some fun on the slopes, and have a grand old time just sliding around at the speed of sound. Of course, all good things must come to an end at some point, and this will be the end of our adventures in Sand Mountain. Now we can head back out to the main area of Bikini Bottom and go collect our reward from Patrick. But before we leave, Squidward has a little word for us.
Oh, thank Neptune, you did it! Now I can go get my equipment and ski in peace.
Actually, I think that Patrick borrowed your equipment.
What? Who said he could do that?
I did. I figured if you didn't know, you wouldn't mind. Again.
Wouldn't mind, of course I mind. It's only the most expensive skiing equipment you can buy. And what does Patrick want with that stuff anyway? He doesn't even know how to ski.
I want the worm now.
Oh, Patrick, how you never cease to amaze us. Anyway, let's head on home. Speaking of Patrick, let's head on home and go talk to him to exchange 10 socks for a golden spatula. And we've gotten a lot of Patrick socks, or Patrick spatulas so far. Yeah, we're coming up to the end. We only after today we're only gonna be able to get two more spatulas from him, and then that'll be all 80 of Patrick's socks found. So we've come a long way since the start of the game. All right, hey there, Patrick. Let's go ahead and collect ourselves a reward.
Wow, SpongeBob, you found some.
Now they're back home, safe where they belong.
Here's your golden back scratcher.
Spatula.
I don't speak Italian.
And that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. See you for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Spongebob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Goodbye.